13-hour days every day.
You're fucking banging it. I got over 50 hours last week. I'm with you, bro. I know.
Dude.
I'm feeling it. I am with you. The dad-husband grind is in full effect right now. So this article is about how this person found a tape and then found out that it wasn't real. We don't find out that they know for sure it's not real until the very, very end of the article.
I love being on Medicare. It's like, well, do you though? Action.
We're out here. Thank you for joining us. This is Salt of the Streets podcast pre-show episode 70. My name is Donovan.
I'm Colin.
We are happy to have you here again. Thank you for joining us. We have been gone for 2 weeks and we are back now. And it's been rough, but I feel good. Or were you trying to hand that to me? Space blood. What?
So basically we forgot the name of what this concoction is, but we're calling it space blood now.
And it's so good. Anyway.
Oh, dog.
Oh, God, I love it. So I want to thank everyone again for joining us.
Happy Friday.
Happy
everybody.
Friday.
Welcome to the weekend.
It is a special Friday recording because Colin has some special plans tomorrow. And so we are here a day early to provide you with everything you could ever ask for as far as information. Politically, we're going to talk some sports. We're going to talk about some fucking...
About how much I fucked on you in fantasy last night.
Fuck you. The week is still young. But fuck Gerald Everett. So we're going to talk about some fantasy. We're going to talk about some football. We're going to talk about some NCAA football, some athletes getting paid, Colin, in California.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about the impeachment inquiry coming out of the House. That shit is official now. We are going to talk about the vaping bans going on in the country, including in our own home state here in Washington. And we are going to talk about Heather. Is that what? Heather Geiger?
Amber.
Oh, are you
Amber
sure?
Geiger?
Amber Geiger? Is that what her name is?
Oh,
What's this
shoot.
bitch's name?
The former cop.
Amber Geiger.
Houston.
Amber Geiger. That's what we're...
Nailed it.
That's... Yeah, you got me. So we are going to talk about Amber Geiger. Yeah, the former police officer shot a man, Botham Jean, in his own apartment. Now
While he was eating ice cream.
While he was eating ice cream.
That's not a way to go. I mean, if I'm going to go, I guess I would rather be sitting on the couch eating ice cream and then I'm dead. Not a bad way, I guess.
Sentenced to 10 years for murder. So we're going to talk about how that came about. We're going to talk about whether or not that 10 years is justified. And while we are doing it, we are going to provide you with all of the facts of all of these situations. Do you remember, did you ever watch DeSuze and Mero on Vice?
No.
So I hate those guys now because they're just terrible. But they used to, like, when Trump first got in office, I would watch them and they have little graphics and stuff like that. It's a daily, like, 30-minute political talk show between these two guys that used to have a YouTube channel. And when Sean Spicer was still the press secretary,
Good old spicy
they
winner.
had a graphic that would come up and he was doing this and it was saying lies. Like he was sprinkling lies and everything. And that was really good. So we are, like I said, going to deliver all the fact that we possibly can about all these things. There is so much confusion about the impeachment inquiry and what that means and what it's going to lead to and how it happened and who's shady and who's not shady. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. There is, as many of you know, a lot of confusion around the vape bans that are going on, the flavor bans, and people dying and getting sick and shit. So it's gonna be a good time. Before we continue on to anything, though, I need you to tell me what you ate before we got here today. Friday recording is always dangerous.
Exactly
So
right.
I want to make sure that you are good to go before we continue.
Especially because it's a special week. I've been working 13-hour days every day.
You're
this
fucking
week.
banging it. I got over 50 hours last week. I'm with you, bro. I know.
Dude.
I'm feeling it. I am with you. The dad-husband grind is in full effect right now.
And I don't even have a leg to stand on.
Dad
There. You
husband.
got
That's
way
your
more.
husband.
Oh, yeah, there
your
you
husband.
go.
That counts.
Oh,
Dad
man.
husband grind.
And I should preface this by, I'm going to apologize right now before anything happens here. I'm getting over a cold, so I might be a little sniffly, so I'm going to back up from the mic every time I got a sniff. But in case you catch a few, that's what it is. About an hour before you got here, I had a nice fat sandwich, ham, chipotle cheddar, and Swiss cheese.
Ooh,
It was wicked good.
There you go.
Wicked good. So I did skip lunch, but that was like a late lunch.
Did you have any chips?
No. It had just a plain old Sammy.
Gotta have chips with the sandwich, bro.
I don't know. I don't get down on chips that much anymore.
For a while, I was like really into Pringles. Really into Pringles. Like on the 4th of July, someone brought Pringles to our house and I like for the party and I ate some and I was like, God damn, these are good.
What kind? Original?
Sour cream and onion Pringles.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
No shade. No shade for that one.
Yep. So I was buying them like Monday is my store day at work. And so when I went to the store, I would buy a can of fucking Pringles and I would eat them like throughout the week. And I've been doing that since the 4th of July.
So 1 can for the week.
Yeah. For like 4 days at work, over like 4 days. Yeah. So it's not
too bad.
No, I usually have some at home. Maybe I'll have a couple when I get home from work, but I'm not eating like a half a can or anything like that.
That's healthy.
They have a thing called a mega stack. That's like an even taller can of Pringles.
Did they go wider?
No, it's not wider. It's just taller.
Then I don't know. I ain't buying them.
It's probably 2 inches taller.
You see these giant mitts here? I can't get in the tube.
I do a lot of shaking, of the can to like, I will. Morgan, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank everyone for joining us who's here, but Morgan specifically shouting us out here. She's headed on her way to work. Thank you. Your wedding was beautiful. You were beautiful. You're amazing. It was awesome. Thank you for inviting us. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you for inviting us to your wedding. It was fantastic.
Like that was the original reason we took that week off because we had the wedding to go to, and good Lord, it was. The festivities started on Thursday with the quote unquote bachelor party, and I will just say this. Money can buy happiness, because as the best man, I felt like I was just morally obligated to make sure everybody had a great time on this thing.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of money, but I literally I can't remember the last time I had that much fun.
Oh, it was awesome.
4 days of just amazement.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I can't get over it. The wedding, literally, I don't think could have been more perfect.
Oh, it was awesome.
I caught a little bit of a bug, so I went up to do my little best man speech.
Yeah,
and I was super fucking nervous, even though I knew most of these people.
Yeah,
but I feel like I did a pretty good job.
You did,
and there's just something about that was like. You get to the point where you make the crowd laugh a couple times, and you're like, I know it's super easy because it's a wedding and everybody's rooting for you anyways, you know what I mean? But
you did it though.
Man, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And there's a open mic night at the brewery, which I'm a member.
Oh, really?
And I might have to try that one of these days. So I'm working on some material.
Well, there you go. I'll definitely come and watch you if that's what you're going to do.
I'd actually rather you not. To be perfectly honest.
I'll laugh at you no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a good one. You'll be my audience plant.
And I'm fucking loud, so I'll get it kicking off for sure.
Yes.
There's people who if nothing else, people will laugh at me laughing at you. It'll all blend together. So,
oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great, man. Went hunting last weekend. Hurt my back. Dude, it's just been a crazy 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
So crazy. And I got another wedding to go to, which is a secret until tomorrow. I get weird with weddings and stuff. I don't post any pictures until like all the, the affected parties start posting all their stuff. It's like a sacred cow. I don't want to cross.
It's the right thing to do. Yeah.
It's good social media etiquette, It's manners.
We should announce, because we didn't discuss before the show, but I'm pretty sure this is the tilt that we're on. A little bit of housekeeping before we move any further. We are looking like
I love that is a legitimate podcast.
And I'm not sure where the fuck it came from, but that's right? That's what they call them.
Insider baseball stuff.
Yeah.
It works.
So we are looking like we are going to start to move to an every other week podcast, right? Partially right now because it's hunting season. Colin has a lot of stuff going on. We have a fucking baby in my house. We both have a lot of things that are going on. So in order to be able to continue to provide a good quality podcast and blog posts in between, we are going to move to an every other week podcast. And in between, we're going to be able to get out blog posts and audio blog posts. With every other week, we're going to actually have time to be able to do that, as we talk about all the time and never do it. But with it every other week, we're going to be able to do it. Colin's going to have more time to work on the videos so we can keep getting the videos out, because I know that a lot of people really like those. So we just want to keep providing a good quality product and make sure that you guys are satisfied. Care about the listeners. We care about you guys because you support us so much. We've been doing this for 70 episodes now. We would not continue if you guys were not listening and just giving us compliments and enjoying what we're doing and actually taking something and learning from it. So I just want to thank you guys for everything that you've done for us up until this point. People buying t-shirts and just sharing it and telling other people, and, just continue to help us out like that. Just continue to share it and tell more people. And that's really what we need right now, is just more people to listen, more people to love it, and just.
I will say, we did have that new development, Podcoin, one of the apps that we had, one of the newer platforms that we had jumped on immediately. It did not last very long, and they closed down the end of September. So I will say, on the brighter side, I hated listening to our podcast and then listening to my fucking ad read for Podcoin. So I'm happy to say no more Podcoin ad reads anymore.
So, Podcoin helped us out a lot. That was really cool because we got a lot of new listeners from that, people that have stuck around and, just continue to listen all the time. But because of that, because Podcoin went under, we no longer have that partnership that was helping us get our shit out there. So, like I said, just all the time, more people listening, more people sharing it, just put it out there. Just show it to people. Just tell people about it. If when I see you, I'll give you a bunch of business cards if you want, so you can hand them out. We got some stickers I can give to some people. Always have t-shirts you can buy. So, whatever you can do.
Salt of the streets. Knowledge dies in silence. It's a play on
something like that.
Democracy dies in darkness.
I watched a movie yesterday and the day before called motherfucking Brightburn. Have you heard about this?
I feel like it's a sun movie.
It is not a sun movie. It is essentially if Superman was evil when he was a child.
Oh.
Right? Because it's got like the same basic origin story that like this kid is an alien found in the woods, and then he has really bad anger problems, and then finds out that he's got these superpowers, laser beams and flying and super strength and shit like that, and he starts fucking murdering people. And
there's a Brightburn 2.
It goes hard as shit.
It looks dark.
It is. It's dark as fuck, and it was really kind of scary. But I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's creepy.
He's young enough that I don't think I'd do all right with that movie, man. I have a hard time with possessed looking kids in movies, and it terrifies me to no end.
Yeah, and that's his superhero costume with the laced up face, and then he
looks like a serial killer.
Yeah, and then he has his laser beam eyes going most of the time, so they're just glowing red when he's walking around.
That is unhealthy.
You should watch it. Rented it on Amazon.
I think I might. This is Brightburn.
It's like $2 on Amazon.
$2 Amazon. Rent it.
Totally worth it.
I like it.
You out of here, girlfriend?
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
All right.
You've done it, huh?
Okay.
So, Brightburn. I'm going to have to watch the second one, too.
You're fine.
Is there a second one? I Googled it, and it said Brightburn 2.
Well, it definitely was a cliffhanger ending that left it open for another movie. So I can see how that would be the case. I also... What the fuck was I going to say about that?
Movies, Superman... It's like an evil, possessed Superman from the looks of it.
X-Men Dark Phoenix came out, right?
What? How did I miss that?
Right. So
that's
like 3 weeks
movie
ago.
I was actually excited about.
So like 3 weeks ago, I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks fucking rad. Like this looks hella sick. And then like a week ago, I was at Safeway and it was there in a display for $25. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Not only did it come out, you can buy it. You can already go and buy a hard copy of it. So either this movie was shit or no one gave a fuck about it because there's too many superhero movies, so they're just selling it. That scares me, man. This looked like a great fucking movie, and now it's like direct to sale fucking DVD. That freaks me out, man.
That's disheartening.
freaks me out.
I don't
Genuinely
Well, I'm gonna watch
concerned
it.
about the state of this movie. So we'll see what happens from that.
But I mean, if it's terrible, would it surprise you? I mean, it would disappoint me because it looked like it was going to be a good one.
And it looked like they were getting better. You know, the X-Men movies, they weren't great. You know, they were never great.
No.
But they were getting better.
Once they brought in that
though.
younger generation and started to do whole thing, like I got on board because they were much better than the original ones.
Was more, certainly. Those first 3 X-Men movies were fucking shit.
Terrible.
They were
So
horrible
bad.
fucking movies. The beef that I have, especially with the 3rd X-Men movie, was that you took like 4 or 5 really excellent story arcs from the comics and just fucked them all into one movie and expected it to be okay. And it was fucking terrible. It was terrible. You took 5 things that could be individual movies in themselves and just smashed them all together. And we're like, here you go, everyone. And it was gross. I was 10 years old when I thought it was gross. Never even read the comic books. I was like, this is gross.
So let me ask you this question. You know, you saw the newest Spider-Man movie, right?
With Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that's your boy.
I do like Jake Gyllenhaal.
I will say he was great in that movie.
He was good.
He was good.
Mysterio,
that movie
this
was
bitch.
fantastic, and it was still a Sony movie, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And there's this legal fight over who was going to get the rights to Spider-Man after this.
Not anymore. I learned just last week that they resolved it.
Oh. I saw a tweet.
Yeah,
It was
Sony.
like Spider-Man's going to stay in the MCU.
Yeah, I guess Sony like realized that they were being fucks and were just like, all right, we'll just, do what we were doing before. Because it was someone, I don't remember exactly what it was, but someone was asking for 90% of it instead of 100% of it. And the other person said, or 50%, and the other person said, go fuck yourself. And so whoever was trying to strong arm the other person just gave up and like let it be what it is. So
Good.
he's going to stay.
Free money. You don't have to do anything.
No.
If you're Sony, let Marvel run everything and just sit back and it's passive income at that point.
Just take it and just let it be.
Yeah, it's less stress than being a landlord.
Yeah.
I would assume. I'm not in the Hollywood business, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just. What does Joe Rogan always say? I'm just a dumb chimp.
A dumb monkey. Yeah,
just
some
a
shit
dumb
like
monkey.
that. There was something else that I was going to talk about, man.
I was going to do Sober October this year. And you see how that's turning out.
It's too late for that now. Yeah. A little late for that now. November is slowly closing in. Mm-hmm. So it's almost time for me to grow out my mustache again. It's going to be gnarly. It gets a little more intense every year, It does. So, your male genes are kicking in stronger every single year. You're becoming more a man every day. Till like 27 or 28 or something like that, right?
Yeah, then you're going to start losing hair. That's the way it goes.
I hope not.
I've been blessed in my family. Genetically, we don't lose our hair as older males. So hopefully I'm going to hold on to that one. Although I do wear a hat every day, and I hear that's really bad.
Well, it's supposed to be determined by your mom's dad, right? And my grandpa Hobie had just a full-on head of hair when he died. So
yeah, I'm not concerned about
I think that. He didn't die like super old because he had a heart attack, but he still had a full head of hair and like a beard and whatnot. I guess he had some type of exemption when he was in the military to have a beard because when he shaved his face, he got fucking horrible ingrown hairs in his face. So there's
a lot of people in the military that are like that.
Weird.
Found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them, like there's some people that just can take like a normal, like, I don't know, shaver.
Like clippers or
whatever.
like
clippers and just keep like a constant 5 o'clock shadow. And I'm like, I hate you guys. Why are you doing this to me? I want that.
Just bitch about ingrown hairs and maybe you'll be all right.
Yeah, but I got too much moral fortitude to do that.
To just lie about it?
Yeah, I got a problem with that lately. I can't lie anymore and not feel guilty about it.
So let me ask you about this, right?
Too much focus on the truth.
Yesterday, when I was at work, Chris came up to me and she's like, hey, I need you to recut this order because,
because you suck at life, Donovan.
Because it was, 2 pairs of shit. And she's like, yeah, this guy says he only got one of these things.
Oh.
Well, I know I cut it because there's a picture of it, and I know that we shipped it because it's dictated in the weight, and they ship together in one box because they're like all the same thing.
You know how much one of them weighs?
He's like, I didn't get it, like I didn't receive it, and so I need to recut it. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, that seems really weird, like that's the case, it's super weird. So I recut it, sent it on down. 2 hours later, homeboy calls Chris and is like, oh, hey, I found that shit.
Oh,
so fuck you, right? Because you're a dick. Because you didn't say, hey, I took him out of the box and I fucking set him down and I don't know what I did with him. You called and you said, you didn't send me my shit and I want you to remake it. So you're an asshole because you just lied. Instead of even acknowledging that you may have seen them, you're like, you didn't make them.
Do you think that might be a little presumptuous of you?
No, I think
you don't know how the phone call went. You didn't read the transcript between the client and customer service. All right.
I did not read the transcript. You are correct.
This is what happens when I've been ensconced in the political ridiculousness that's been going on. I don't believe anything anyone says at all anymore. I need hard proof of everything now because everyone lies, everybody spins so bad that who knows what the truth is. Anyway, we'll get into that later.
Article that you sent to me about the P tape. It was a long article.
It was so long.
So Colin
with lots of videos and pictures.
Colin sent me an article. I'll tweet out the article because it had me fucked up. That was like, I don't know if you guys remember the Donald Trump P tape from it's supposed to be from 2013 and then 2017 the video came out and blah, 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 whatever. So
weird.
So this article is about how this person found a tape and then found out that it wasn't real. We don't find out that they know for sure it's not real until the very, very end of the article.
There it is.
And the whole time, they're like going back and forth about like indicators that like maybe it is and maybe it isn't and blah, blah, blah.
They're like circling things and pictures and
yeah. And I'm like, so when he texted to me, he's like, this is funny, but it's not real. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, this might be fucking real though.
Right?
This might be fucking real though, dog. And then at the end, it finally comes out. They're like, no, it's impossible. Like, it's not the real tape. And you're like, that's fucked up because for like 20 full minutes, I'm sitting there stressing, reading, because I'm trying to tell Jordan about it at the same time, so I'm reading really slow. I'm like, and then it says this, and then it says this. Oh my God. And then it says this.
And look, you could see her peeing on the bed.
Yep. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Like, God damn it.
Dude.
It was a great article. Super good read. I was like, how is this on slate.com? Like, if this is what's going on, how is it only on slate.com? Like, what the fuck?
My entire perception of reality was skewed for about 45 minutes.
I was fucked up. Yeah, it was crazy. So
before this happened, right before I actually got it, one of my counterparts in my office had gotten it. He'd pulled it up and he was reading it. And then he would read something out loud, and then he'd have me come over and look at this picture, and then he'd roll some more and like read some more, and then so he's walking me through this thing step by step by step, and then he finally gets to the end, and he's like, "Oh God damn it!"
Yeah,
because this dude, I have watched him over the last 2 years, and I know he doesn't listen to this, but even then, I'll give him some shit. He's got like this full on. He's gone hard to the other side. Like it's fucking, did you see what Trump did? Did you see what Trump did? Did you see what Trump did? And not that I fault people for doing that, but I mean, this was his paradise article. It was so perfect.
He's like, this is it.
And then it just crushed his dreams at the end. Oh. But man, I mean, this is an example of like one of those deep fake videos.
Yes.
And you're going through and you're looking and you're like, man, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. I really want this to be true because if this is the world we live in, a lot of things make sense.
Shit's crazy right now.
Yeah. By the way, Dark Phoenix, 5.8 stars out of 10 on IMDb.
So, looks like it might be terrible. My neighbor John, he's a huge fan, talks to me about the show all the time. And he said that he's got a homeboy that's like super hard into socialism. And he was like, yeah, you guys should debate him. We're like, well, I don't really debate people, but I'm not on that level yet, bro. Have him on and like talk to him, And he was like, yeah, and he makes like a pretty convincing argument for socialism. And I said, do you know what's a really good argument against socialism? He's like, what? I said, millions of people dying. Every time. he was like, yeah. He was like, but he's, and like, it's like, but he, it's like some stuff like this. And I was like, yeah, no, I hear you. I was like, But every time it's like I'm telling you, it's like, and I would talk to him and I would hear him out, and that's fine. Whatever he says, I'm sure that it's great. But every time, without fail, that socialism has been executed, people die in masses.
Every time.
Like, do you remember when the Soviets did it and people ate their children? Like, because that happened. People were eating their fucking kids because they had no food. Like, that's socialism right there.
What flavor? Cool mint, coffee, or cinnamon? Coffee.
Do it.
Coffee's pretty good.
Yeah. I was like, that's a really good argument against socialism every time.
Every time.
And I told him, I said, I've begun a conversation with Colin many a time that I could make a strong argument for some form of democratic socialism, right? Like, at that point, I can begin a conversation with you about maybe some legitimacy. Like, when you're talking to me about pure-blooded socialism, we're not going to get anywhere, man. Like, that's not going to be a thing where I think that that's a good idea ever, because people die every fucking time. Like, unless it's mixed with something else, people die. And even when it is not, even in China, when they're mixing it with other shit, people are still fucking dying.
Oh, yeah.
Still happening. They're still putting Uyghurs in fucking camps for years, decades at a time. Here, just learn to not be a Muslim anymore in this camp, because it's a re-education camp. It's not an internment camp or a work camp or anything like that. It's re-education camp. We just want you to know the laws and how to live in modern China. The fuck? Yep. The fuck? You got people escaping to other countries to tell their stories about, hey, we got people wearing fucking shoes made of tires in this bitch and getting torn apart by dogs. Crazy.
Sounds like China.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But hey,
talking about socialism, Jesus Christ.
At least when you think about, because America, you would be very wrong
today.
Yeah, you would be very wrong to think that there are no socialistic policies in America.
Certainly,
because there's a buttload of them. It's called our public utilities, our police force, our fire department, the whole things. We all pay taxes to it, and the government takes care of it for us.
Medicare for all, right, Colin?
I had a very good conversation about Medicare the other day.
Really?
And I explained
with an old person,
older members of a family nature. But we were
not an old
it,
person,
right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to make the point, and I don't know how well I did on this, but the reason why Medicare for all seems like such a wonderful plan in people like Bernie Sanders' eyes, who, by the way, just had a stent or 2 stents put in his heart, which I don't think is going to stop that old curmudgeon from running for president, by the way. He's going to go on a little hiatus for a minute.
Not unless his doctor is like, you will literally die if you don't stop campaigning. Then he might stop.
Yeah, but he'll still go hang out in his vacation house.
And he'll still go back and be a senator after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. But my point was, while we're talking about this Medicare system, right? We talk about Medicare. Bernie's always talking about how many people love Medicare. I love being on Medicare. It's like, well, do you though? Because you also have to buy this Medicare supplemental insurance, which is extra insurance that Medicare doesn't cover.
Part B, part fucking C, part
there's
whatever.
There's all this stuff, right? And so you have to realize that Medicare is a system solely built off the foundation of the problems that people in the AARP community have, because that's what they primarily deal with. So they're good at that. But you try to get them to be good at everything else that everyone else in America is going to the hospital and the doctor for all the time. Not gonna work. They can barely make it work for the people whose demographic it is designed to serve. Am I off base there much? So that's what Medicare for All's bets is.
I've not heard anybody who's on Medicare say Medicare is perfect. I've never heard, and obviously perfect is too much to ask for really when you're talking about anything, but I've never heard them say, I've never even heard them say my experience with Medicare has been overwhelmingly positive. You know, not that it's a shit show every time, but never would they say that it's been overwhelmingly positive, you know? And I feel comfortable saying that. And I'm sure that there are some people who would say that, but I think on the whole, most people would say that it's not, you know?
It's all right. It works.
Yeah. It does the job.
I mean, it only costs people like $600-800 a month. I mean, sorry, like $400 to $500 a month. I'm looking at $600 to $800 a month for my insurance.
That's a lot of dollars.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else?
I think that's about. I think we should probably hit into the actual show. Now. I'm not sure.
We've been getting real long on these pre-shows lately.
That's what we do. People love this shit. The pre-shows are popular.
The pre-shows are more. They're more accessible to a wider audience. Mm-hmm. And so, if you like what we're talking about here, come join us for the full show. You're going to get that on Monday. Because it's Friday right now, and you're awesome because you're watching it on Facebook Live. And one of these days, we're going to figure out how to make the audio quality better for the live recording because it sounds good in post when we put it on the podcast feed on Sundays because we're talking to microphones. But right now, my phone's over there and I project my voice.
We just yell at you the whole time.
Exactly. So anyways.
Yes. So I want to thank you one last time for joining us. I am Donovan.
I'm Colin.
And you can find us on our personal social. Well, you've been watching us on our Facebook at Salt of the Streets. We have our Instagram at Salt of the Streets. We have our YouTube at Salt of the Streets where you can find this video later. We have our own personal private social media. It's not private. You can go there too. Our personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. And he is at Big Bird Offie on both of those things. You can find all of this information on saltofthestreets.com, which is currently being revitalized by my wife because she is the shit. It's awesome. Thank you one last time for joining us. Episode 70. Look out for it on Monday. Peace the fuck out. Have a great weekend. Have a fucking space blood or whatever this is called.